So let's talk about something that's on every test, every AP exam, and anything that we know about calculus, our fun chart. I've been hit and miss with the fun chart. I've been luckily more hit than miss. I'm doing better with it, so I'm going to try to teach a little bit now. So the basic skeleton for our fun chart is we have our function at f, concave up and concave down. When we have a function of f concave up, its derivative will be increasing, and its double derivative will be positive. And when we have our equation concave down, it's decreasing its derivative and negative on its double derivative. And now, one thing we gotta realize about this chart, all this right here can always be shifted up for any derivative, whether we're going to the integral or going from the fifth derivative to the fourth derivative. This chart is true for anything that is within one derivative of it, what you're trying to relate it to. So let's talk about it a little bit. Let's say we're on right here at our function of f prime. So if we're talking about relative extrema and absolute relative mins and maxes, let's look at on a graph here. Right, we're increasing, and then when the graph of f prime changes from increasing to decreasing in its y values, we have a relative extrema. At this point, we have a relative maximum. So we keep going along the graph, decreasing, and then we change again to increasing. Change from decreasing to increasing. We have a relative minimum right here. Same thing happens, increasing, decreasing. Relative maximum right here, relative minimum. But right here, we do have neither. Because even though the graph changed from increasing to decreasing, it does it on its slope, not its y values, which we're looking for. We're talking about relative extrema. Now, if we're talking about points of inflection, which has to do with f double prime, we do have to talk about the slopes. So we have our slope increasing, positive slope, changes from positive slope to negative slope, so that's the point of inflection. So right here, changing from a negative slope to a positive slope, so that's a point of inflection. And now here's where this comes in. Even though its y values do not change, we have the positive slope change to a negative slope. So even though this just bounces off the x-axis, it's still a point of inflection. And that's always the questions that are asked when it comes to the fun chart in our AP exam. Everything else pretty much comes to stuff like candidates test to see what could be your relative mins and maxes, stuff along that nature. And that's pretty much it when it comes to your fun chart. That's your basic need to know stuff. I hope, because that's what I've been doing on my AP exams.